Well, thanks for logging on for another Thursday night vlog. In this video I'm going to be answering some of the questions that you've been sending me. Questions including, are we changing our ground bait mixers now that the water temperatures are cooling down a little bit and winter is just around the corner? I've been getting asked what kind of hook patterns I've been using on certain venues over the last few weeks, and I'm also going to be telling you what's had the biggest impact on my fishing over the last few months. But first up, we're going to have a quick match catch up just to let you know what kind of matches I've been going in, how we've been getting on, and how the venues have been performing. Well, as I've been furloughed at work, it's given me quite a bit of time to actually get out there on the bank, which has been great. I've been conducting lots and lots of coaching sessions, which has been brilliant. I've been enjoying doing those on venues up and down the country, but I have actually been doing quite a bit of match fishing as well. Right at the beginning of the year, decided that I wanted to fish more commercial type venues, commercial waters through the summer months, just while the carp were feeding, and fishing a few little different methods that I don't normally get a chance to use, because usually at this time of year we're chasing feeder masters qualification and various other things, and we were due to have a few trips abroad as well to go and compete in events in Europe as well, and obviously with what's happened in the world, a lot of those events have been either cancelled or postponed. So I've been fishing one or two matches locally. I've been to Fleets Dam recently, which is a venue that's not far from me. That's actually in Barnsley, and I've been enjoying doing some pellet waggler fishing and some method feeder fishing for proper carp. It's been good, it's been kind to me. I went in 3 matches there. The first one there I was about 4th or 5th overall. I did actually win my section, but I felt as though there was definitely room for improvement. Have you ever felt as though you've left some fish in the peg? Well, that's exactly what happened that day. So I wanted to get back there. I got back there and I won the following match, and then I went back again and won that match as well. The target there is about 10 carp. If you can get 10 carp, then you've stand a very, very good chance of winning the match. So, you know, when you consider that the matches are around 6 hours long, you're not really looking for many bites, and I've really enjoyed fishing with a pellet waggler. Nice active fishing, feeding pellets, and obviously fishing a method feeder as well at certain stages. So I really enjoyed fishing those matches at Fleets, and hopefully I'll get back there soon. Another venue that I was off to was Elsica Reservoir. Now that's a venue that's very close to me. It's only about 8 miles away. Again, it's going towards Barnsley. It's in that direction. And I've never fished it before. I'd only ever seen it once before. I never fished it, and I went along there in an open match, and it was flat calm. It was really shallow, and the water was quite clear as well, and it fished really, really hard. I ended up with about 8 small fish, but once again that was my first taste of the venue, and I felt if I'd just kind of refined my approach a little bit, cut back on the feed, I didn't realise it was fishing quite as hard as what it did, so I couldn't wait to get back there. And when I got back there, it was actually part of a qualification campaign that they run at that venue. It's called the Super Series, and they are a series of qualifiers where you can try and qualify for a grand final that takes place later on in September. I went there and I drew peg 36. The wind was blowing down towards that end of the lake, and I've got to admit, even though I don't know the venue, it looked ideal. I was second from end peg, and I just got my head down. I fed very little and just tried to be a little bit patient, and I ended up winning the match, which was fantastic. Obviously it was great to win the match, it was great to kind of feel comfortable on that venue, but it was obviously an added bonus to qualify for that final, which takes place at the back end of September. So that's about £800 to the winner. There's quite a bit of money to fish for in that final, so I can't wait to get there. So again, it was nice to see another new venue. More recently, last weekend, I was actually at the beautiful Patsall Park Fishery. Now, just a quick update for you on Patsall. It's in the Midlands, it's around the Wolverhampton area, and it has actually been closed for a while. I was led to believe that the fishery actually closed. The ownership of the venue and the surrounding golf course and land changed hands through lockdown. So this festival, it was billed to be a 3-day festival, but obviously when the fishery closed, that was cancelled. Thankfully, the fishery has a new owner, and the new owner wanted, and the fishery staff there wanted the festival to go ahead, so I went along there and fished a 2-day festival. So they actually cut it back to a 2-day festival, but on the 3rd day they ran it as an open match, and it was a fantastic kind of weekend, a few days away with Dad, you know. I was 3rd in my section on day 1, I drew in the shallows, and then on day 2 I was in the deeps and I was 3rd in my section again. It was a very, very close affair where literally one fish could have made a massive difference, you know, and I thoroughly enjoyed it. I ended up on the festival with 6 points, and you actually needed 5 points to get in the frame and just 4 points to win the event. So yeah, it's great to be in the mix again, but obviously when you look back on it and you see that one bream here, one bream there would have made a massive difference, it just definitely, you know, makes you want to get back there as soon as possible, because it feels like, you know, it's just unfinished business. But it's a stunning fishery. There are matches there again now, so for those of you who don't know Patsel Park Fishery, there is a Facebook page for it. They do have a website as well, so if you want to get in touch with them and find out when their matches are, they've been running them over the last 2 or 3 weekends as well, and there's been one on a Wednesday as well. So if you're interested in fishing matches there, then just add or like the Facebook page, or get in touch with the fishery through the website, and they will let you know when their open matches are taking place. But it's great to see that stunning venue open again, and the fishing can be fantastic. Then just yesterday I was back out at Southfield Reservoir for the Feeder King qualification campaign. For those that do know, I've been doing alright at Southfield. You know, I've had some very close misses as regards qualifying for that competition. You've got to win your 20 peg zone, and I think I've had a third in match overall, or a second, a third, a fourth. I was 5th yesterday, and I've had a second in zone, a third in zone, or 3 third in zones, I think. I'm not too sure. When it's as close as that, again, it's fantastic to be in the mix, but sometimes it's a little bit frustrating, because you know that just one bite would have secured your place in that final. But Southfield's been, whilst it's fishing very, very difficult at the moment, you know, I have been kind of winning my section and stuff, and what I'm doing seems to be working, and where I'm drawing, I seem to be kind of getting enough reactions to try and secure a place in that final. I don't have any more tickets now for that qualification campaign. I think there are 2 or 3 qualifiers left. If anybody's got any tickets for sale, please let me know. I will have them off you. But so, Southfield has been Southfield, you know, and it's been a test, and the biggest thing with my fishing there has been match management. It's been the way that you've chosen to spend certain periods of time on certain lines, and just rotate your lines, and just be very, very careful about what you're feeding, and try and turn every bite into a fish in the net. I know it sounds easy, but that's what it's been all about. So that's where we've been going. It's been Southfield, and yeah, as always, it's been a test. After each of these matches, I've actually been uploading a quick video just talking to you about how my match went, showing you the peg and showing you my bait tray and all that sort of thing. And they're the videos that I've been uploading to Patron TV for those people that are more interested in the coaching style of videos and that sort of thing. The link is just there if that's the sort of thing that you're interested in. As soon as I'm able, I'm going to be filming another live match video for you for YouTube. I just haven't had a chance recently, so I will be getting out and filming you one of those, hopefully by the end of September. So as you can see, I've been really, really busy. I've been on the bank, I've been having quite a bit of success, which I've really been enjoying. I feel as though I'm really at the top of my game at the moment, so thank you for all the great messages I've been having. And on the subject of messages, now is the Q&A session, where I'm just going to be answering some of the questions that I've handpicked, the ones that I think will appeal to most people. So in order for me to answer these questions for you, I'm going to see you over in the tattle room. Welcome to the tattle room. Thank you so much for all the questions that I've been getting asked over the last few weeks. There are questions that are quite specific to people's preferred style of fishing, venue and that sort of thing, but there are questions that are quite broad based and quite varied and will probably appeal to more viewers, and they're the questions that I've selected for this video. Now the first question has been getting asked quite a lot, and it's been about ground bait mixers. My initial answer to that question is not just yet. We will be changing our mixers going through winter. The general consensus seems to be, for most people, with myself included, is that when the water clarity gets clearer, just tone down the colour of your ground bait as well. So as the water clarity gets clearer, go down a more darker route as regards the colour of your ground bait, and I also usually tone down the strength of the fish meal as well as the water gets colder. However, the venues that I've been fishing, I've been sticking to the stronger mixers. I've been using the Ringers Dark and the Ringers Natural. They're a great combination. You can use Ringers Dark on its own, which is what I used yesterday at Southfield. Phil Ringer also used it as well, and so did Steve Ringer. We didn't know we were all going to be using the same mix, but we've since found out that we did. So that's still quite a selective mix. It's quite strong, and that's because on that particular venue we were trying to single out those better fish, better net fish, and as it turned out, it seemed to be the right decision. However, as the water clarity gets clearer and we're being less selective, then that's when I will probably start adding more of the Ringer's Natural to it to tone it down a little bit. But any mix like that with those features can be great as soon as the water clarity starts getting clearer, and it's certainly starting to get cooler. Hook choice is a massive thing for lots of people. There are so many different styles and products out there as regards hooks. There are so many different patterns, it's incredible. The two patterns that I've been using recently, because of the venues that I've been fishing, have been two barbed patterns. Okay, so they're the ones that I've been using at places like Southfield, where barbed hooks are obviously allowed. Now the one that I've been using is the MXB2. Now that is a pattern that I would call an all-round pattern. That's the pattern that I use when I'm expecting to be fishing with smaller baits like pinkies, maggots, double maggot, single maggot, even triple maggot, just because I think the shape is ideal for that sort of fishing. And that's just a great all-round hook. If you go into a venue where you don't really know what kind of bait you're going to be using, certainly through the winter months, that's a pattern I will be using, because that is the time of year when you might be using single dead red maggot or two dead red maggots or even pinkies, and that is just a great all-round pattern, and that's what I've been using on the harder venues. Now the other pattern that I've been using is the MXB3, and as you can see, it's a wider gaped hook, and that is because it's more suited to fishing with worms especially. Now when I'm fishing places like Southfield, Elsica Reservoir, they are bream and skimmer waters, and we have been putting worms in as well. So that's the pattern that I've been using when I expect to be using worm, either pieces of worm, half a dendra or a piece of dendra, or 2 or 3 red worms. It's just a nice wider gape hook, which means it can carry that bigger bait that you're putting on, but it also means that it's leaving part of the hook exposed as well, so hopefully that's going to ensure a good hook hold. But they're a lovely sharp hook, PTFE coated, they're nice and sharp, and they're dark. I love darker hooks in colour, because I just think it can only enhance the chance of you getting a bite. There have been so many events cancelled this year. Some have been cancelled completely and some have just been postponed until next year. It's something we don't have control over. So yes, priorities as regards matches and things have changed massively. We were due to be going to France, we were due to be going to Ireland, we were due to be going to Bulgaria, and they were right at the top of our agenda, but obviously I had to take a little bit of a back seat now. So for me, the focus for me, I've got 2 winter leagues to compete in, and I've also got the Golden Rod qualifiers. Now the first winter league that I'm going to be competing in is at the fantastic Barston Lakes. That is a feeder only winter pairs competition. I'm fishing that with my partner again, Richard Vaughan, and that is exclusively held at Barston Lakes. It's a pairs competition. It's been run by England feeder team manager Dean Barlow and Michael Buckwalder, so we're going to be spending quite a few sessions there through the winter focusing on that league. Now another league that we are focusing on as well through the winter is the Holcroft Winter Pairs. It's the Feeder Masters Winter Pairs that Lee Kerry and Mick Viles organise and run every year, and that is at Holcroft Fisheries near Retford. We've fished that for the last 2 years, and it's definitely one that we know we should be doing better at, so we're definitely going to be gunning for that again this year. So that is another winter league that we're going to be focusing on at Holcroft Fishery. And on the individual front, I have got several Golden Rod feeder ticket qualifiers to come as well. So a variety of venues. I think we've got in there the tickets that I've got are Larford Lakes, Barston Lakes, Decoy Lakes. I think I've got 1 or 2 for Lindome. There's also Boddington's in there, and a new venue as well, which is what Nigel Harry's taken over. For those that don't know, Nigel, who owns Barston Lakes, has now taken over Meadowlands Fishery, and there are some qualifiers there as well. So on the individual front, I will be gunning to try and qualify for that big money final that's due to take place in March next year at Larford Lakes. So Golden Rod Feeder is the individual competition I'm going to be chasing this year. This is a question I've been getting asked a lot recently. People have been seeing my results and just seeing that I've been going to different venues and doing well, you know, with different bits of kit, different styles of fishing, and that's what I've really been enjoying. And people have been saying, you know, is it because you're drawing well? You know, are you just on a bit of a run? Who knows what it is? You know, I think it is a combination. I've been really pleased that I've been getting results from pegs that, because I've been going to venues that I don't really know, lots of people haven't said that, you know, well, that's a flyer or whatever, you know, that's a flyer, that's a flyer. They haven't been saying that, so I know some of the results I've been getting and section wins and all that sort of stuff has just been from mediocre pegs, you know, and that gives you a lot of confidence in what you're doing. But the biggest impact that's had on my fishing has been twofold. I'll be absolutely honest with you. One of them is one we've talked about before, and that is I've been very, very self-critical about my fishing. Okay, I've been putting extra time in to prepare for matches, making sure I've got every eventuality covered. And when I finished a match, I've looked at the things that I felt I could have done better. I'm not saying I could have been world class at it, but things that, you know, every match we fish, you know, they think there's something that could be better or could be improved. I've been going away and working on that. So it might be your casting, your accuracy. It could be anything, a combination of a new rig. You might have not been happy with the rig, so I've gone away and found another rig or something that's going to achieve the same thing but better. So I've been very, very self-critical. And the other thing is something that not a lot of people talk about, but, you know, certainly the lads in the top 1, 2, 3% of their game will know about this. And that is because I've been able to get out on the bank more, because I've been able to do more coaching, just spend a little bit more time on the bank. That has automatically just kept me in tune with what's happening with fish on certain venues. You know, it's like anything, we've talked about it before. If you have a full-time job and you do something 5 days a week, you're going to be better at it inevitably sooner or later than somebody who's doing that job 1 day a week. You're doing more of it, you're spending more time on the bank, and that's what it's been for me. Just more in tune with watercraft, with the way that fish are feeding, where they're going to be in the peg at certain times, and just reading the signs about what's happening around you. So for me, you've got to be self-critical about, you know, about your own game, you know, but don't do that publicly. This is a penny's worth of free advice. If you're going to beat yourself up about something or admit that you should have done something better, then don't. You might not want to mention it publicly. Just keep it to yourself, just go away, work on it, and then that'll just automatically make you step up your game for next time. And the other thing is just spending more time on the bank. You know, there's no coincidence that when lads go full-time, I'm not full-time, but when lads do go full-time, they start getting better results, and that's because they're spending more time on the bank. It's been an incredible few weeks. I've really been enjoying it, and thanks for all the messages that I've been getting. It's been great to see so many of you out on the bank. There's loads coming through September. I've got lots of matches coming up, so I'm going to be uploading more videos on here for you, at least one a week. So if you don't want to miss out on those, just hit subscribe there. And if you do want to check out coaching tuition style videos, the real in-depth stuff, have a look at the link just there to Patron TV. So thanks for watching, really appreciate it, and I look forward to seeing you all in the next video.